Good evening, plebeians. I hope you're nice and comfy in your nice, comfy robes. You've got some popcorn to prepare you for this filmic experience. My goodness. The beauty. The beauty astounds me. I am moved to tears by this truly wondrous vision. I don't even know if I can... so much work to move the mouse over. God damn it, why do you have to have controls in games? Why can't the game control for you? Why can't it be like in the Mario, where it offers to beat the level for you? Oh, look at this. 4 chapters. See? We're separated into chapters. That's how you know we're serious. Oh my god! We can have the director's commentary! I don't know if... Should we play director's commentary? Hold on. I'll be right back. This is important. Okay, we have official confirmation from the command center. Oh, we will be having the director's commentary. So get ready, you plebs, for the experience of a lifetime. I'm gonna shut up and let the game talk, because if there's one thing I know about this game is that it loves talking. Okay, let's do it. Look at that classy loading screen. Oh, hello. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Can I kill myself? Let me kill myself. The game will not let me kill myself. Ladies and gentlemen, the game will officially not let me die. We are... Oh, there is a, there is, actually. Where was it? It was in video. There is an FOV slider. It does exist. Now, normally, this would give you the most filmic experience possible, but I have made the executive decision to let you see as much of the game as you can at one point in time, because I mean, it's just so beautiful. Don't you want to see all the game all the time? I'd put it past this if I could. Yeah. It's fucking fantastic, man. It has director's commentary. What more do you want? Now, what do we have here?
Hello everyone, I'm Dan Pinchbeck, I'm the creative director of the Chinese Room, and this is the Dear Esther developers commentary.
Hi, I'm Rob Briscoe, I'm the artist on Dear Esther.
And I'm Jessica Curry, and I was the composer on the game.
So what you're looking at today is a remake of a mod. Dear Esther started off in 2007 as a Half-Life 2 mod that did really well in the modding community, which was fantastic, and as a result of that attracted the attention of Rob, who worked as the primary developer on a Source remake of the game that was released in 2012. And this year is another remake where it's been updated for a cross-platform release, and we wanted to add in this developer's commentary just to give you a bit more of an insight into some of the ideas behind the game as it came together.
Okay. Important question. Is there like a generic source command to 1, see FPS, and 2, cap FPS? Does console not work? Are they not going to let me use the console? Is there not a console button? They'll let you have mouse acceleration. They will do that. It's not gonna be an audio. Yeah. Well, it's too late. We've already started. You can't restart the movie just because you pissed on the film cells, okay? You gotta keep going. You know, you gotta just let Indiana Jones have recovered and piss. Well, here's the problem. I'm pressing tilde, nothing. Doing shift tilde, nothing. There doesn't appear to be a way to access the console in this game because the Chinese room does not trust people who play their games. These are literally the controls. There is no use button. There is no use button, even. So we can't even click on door 18. How sad. Okay. Forward. Oh, wait, no. Resume game. But we can't scatter our sorrow to the heartless sea. We cannot plant our roots in Big Boss. What's that in the distance? Oh, a red light. I'm going to the red light district. Sweet. Can we go over this way? Hey, we can. No. Oh my goodness. Oh, I wish I had like a little thing, like an indicator that said what button I was pressing at any given time, because I'm holding W right now, and I'm going completely nowhere. Look at this. I'm pressing W. This is not a trick. This is not a drill. Pearl Harbor is being nuked right now. Look at this. Alright, let's go. There's a house here. That's a point of interest. Let's look in the window. Can we creep on somebody? Hey! No, we can't. There's no one here. Can we go over the boat? No. Those rocks are not in the way. Look, I can walk on these rocks. But I can't even... I'm on top of this rock, and I can't go. I am on top of this rock right now, and I can't go up it. Just to remind you, this is the first area of the game. Very first. Okay, but enough bitchin'. Enough bitchin'. We go in here now. Automatic flashlight. I like it. You know, because we can't trust the player with a flashlight button that exists like stock. The player sees when we want them to see. What's this? A commode? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have found the inspiration for this game. Such majesty. Wow. Right.
So you'll see around you in a lot of the environments, there's a lot of detail ingrained into everything. One of the things that I wanted to do with Dear Esther is bring the visuals up to the same kind of level of detail that Dan and Jess had put into the other areas of the game. So all of the history and the kind of hidden pieces of story that are intertwined with the VOs and the music and stuff. I kind of wanted to bring some of that into the environments. So if you look around you, you'll see that there's a lot of interesting bits and pieces, a piece of paper with someone's name on it, a photograph, an ultrasound. All of these little bits and pieces are kind of laid in to just kind of bring another aspect of the story into the game. And also, they're actually randomized, so every time you play, you'll see something different lying around. And this is just to build on this idea that everybody has a unique experience and a unique interpretation of the story.
Okay. Most important question I got from that. Is there poop in the toilet? Is there a secret toilet story in Dear Esther? Is there a poop story being told? Please, poop. Share with me your secrets. Oh. I mean, you can tell. People lived in this shithole of a house. Left their door open all the fucking time. Okay,
So you'll see around you in a lot of the
Get
environments.
the fuck
there's-
outta
there's
here.
A lot of detail.
I didn't ask
ingrained
you.
Into everything. One of the things that I wanted to do with Dear Esther is bring the visuals up to the same kind of level of detail that Dan and Jess had put into the other areas of the game. So all of the history and the kind of hidden pieces of story that are intertwined with the VOs and the music and stuff, I kind of wanted to bring some of that into the environments. So if you look around you, you'll see that there's a lot of interesting bits and pieces, a piece of paper with someone's name on it, a photograph, an ultrasound.
I'm kind of
All
hoping
these
it
little
layers it.
bits and pieces are kind of laid in to just kind of bring
Nope.
another
Nope.
aspect of the story
You will listen,
into the
goddammit.
game. And also, they're actually randomized, so every time you play, you'll see something different lying around.
They will
And
speak.
this is just to
and you
build
will
on this
listen.
idea that everybody has a unique experience and a unique interpretation of the story.
Uh-huh. Now, this can of paint being knocked over tells a very subtle story. I'm not sure. Oh, also, I love how the area is laid out so that you have to pass through the bubble. You can't just shimmy around it. If you
So you'll
I
see around
swear
you
to God.
in a lot of the environments, there's a lot
I
of detail
swear to God.
ingrained into everything.
British man, please.
One of the things that I wanted to do with Dear Esther is bring the visuals
Alright, we're
up
going
to
outside.
the same kind of level of detail that Dan and Jess had put into the other areas of the game. So,
Mate, this is just the beginning.
all of the history and the kind of hidden pieces of story that are intertwined with the VOs and the music and stuff, I kind of wanted to bring some of that into the environments. So if you look around you, you'll see that there's a lot of interesting bits and pieces, a piece of paper with someone's name on it, a photograph, an ultrasound. All of these little bits and pieces are kind of laid in to just kind of bring another aspect of the story into the game. And also, they're actually randomized, so every time you play, you'll see something different lying around. And this is just to build on this idea that everybody has a unique experience and a unique interpretation of the story.
Okay, now I know this game has a shit ton of controls. I mean, fucking look at that. That's like fucking Steel Battalion right there, okay? I would have loved if this game had a shut the fuck up button. You know, that's a very good question. It is indeed a very good question. Oh wait, can I throw myself off the rocks? Will this game let me do it? Can I go up the hill? No, I can't go up the slate hill. Let's see. Can I throw myself off? Kind of. It was unsatisfying.
Part of the point about the whole game, I think, was this idea that rather than having a linear, straight through version of the story, that we could have multiple story units for each place you were. And I was really interested in this idea of how you can open up that space that people can interpret. So I loved the idea that you could have two people that had played this game and then would have a conversation about it, and one of them would say, oh, what did you think about when this happened? And the other person would be like, well, that didn't happen for me. I had a completely different event happen or a completely different story happen. And it kind of feels very gamey in that way, that actually one of the things I love about writing for games is that you hand over so much control to the player that it becomes their story, and that's really, really important rather than trying to force them. So using randomised blocks of voiceover in the game and the kind of randomised prop details that Rob was talking about means that it gives it a really different feeling every time you go through. And that's kind of interesting for me, because I like the idea of going, well, not everyone has to have the same experience, and because it's interactive, you have the capacity to have very different experiences occupying the same space. So yeah, but balancing all that then becomes an absolute nightmare.
I think it's nice though, because everybody gets a personal experience. Like, I love reading the forums and seeing how people come and they sort of tell their story and what they interpreted of it, and then you see other people discussing what they thought of it. And to me, it's kind of nice because everybody takes something unique away from it.
Okay. Now, point. I hear your point, Mr. Devs, Mr. and possibly Mrs. Devs, or Ms. Devs, or wherever you want to be today. I have a counterpoint for you, though. Right? That counterpoint is XCOM, UFO Defense, 1994. No two playthroughs will ever be the same, and it creates far more compelling stories than this one here. Not gonna look back. Do not look back. Do not look back. You give them the zing, and you walk away. You walk away. Down the beach. Is there anything out in the ocean? No, there's not. Can I go up the rocks? Doubtful. Oh my god. Look at these. Are these like crab cages? Tell me about the crab cages.
When I wrote the music for the mod of Dear Esther, there was absolutely no budget whatsoever for live players, so all the music was sampled. But one of the good things about that is it actually forced me to be quite creative about how I wrote the music. So with my background in sound art, I wanted to use samples in a different way that wasn't just using it to sound like a violin. I wanted to time stretch and manipulate samples to make something different and strange and quite unique. But then when we got the Indie Fund money, I had the amazing opportunity to re-record the music with live players. And that was so exciting for me, actually, because that's where it comes to life. And I thought long and hard about whether to write new music, going from the mod to the commercial version, but actually I decided that my initial and original emotional response to the game was probably going to be the strongest response and reaction that I had. So I just literally, the music that I'd written for samples, I then wrote out for live instruments. But what they bring to it is transformative, actually. And I think The Beach is a really good example of this, where, you know, you have these awful samples soaring away, and then you have the string quartet playing this very bleak, very sparse music, and they bring the presence of the island immediately to it, and it comes to life. And that's the exciting thing about it. It wasn't a huge budget, but just having that experience of working with the players was just magical.
Now, I know you might be confused. You might be bamboozled, as some might say. I want to point out that she did not say she had a background in music. She has a background in, and I quote, sound art, unquote. So, be aware that what you're hearing right now is not music. It is sound art. So you can get the fuck off of my stream talking about, oh, it's not music. It's motherfucking sound. Okay. Okay. On we go. On we go. Glad to see there are no questions. Oh. 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 Okay, we're getting something. Okay. There's music, but only sometimes. Okay.
Everything about Esther for me is a dream. The landscape is not an island, it's the dream of an island. The music is like music that you wake up because you've heard in your sleep, but you're not conscious of hearing it. And the language in the story was supposed to be like that as well. It didn't matter the sense it made, it was more about the kind of the shapes it created, if that makes sense. So that the words would kind of were like being in water, like listening to something underwater. It'd be this very dreamlike, symbolic, poetic thing. And it always frustrated me in games with game writing. This has really changed quite a lot. There was never any space for poetic language. It was very exposition-y, very descriptive, very direct. And you'd have like art and audio would have these amazing creative spaces they could explore. But when it came down to actually writing, you just had to basically go into the room, describe the character, tell the player what to do. And it just seemed like the most boring thing you could do with words in a game. And why couldn't a writer have the same artistic freedom as a visual artist or an audio designer or a musician, in terms of being able to say, isn't this just about creating this kind of emotional tone, this emotional space? And it's really, I still love that about the game. And it's one of the things I love so much about Nigel's voiceover, is it has this really odd, disconnected, kind of dreamlike quality to it, where you might finish the game and not actually understand anything that happened, but you'd been carried along in the flow of it. And without any kind of sarcasm at all, I get into trouble saying things like this. The same design principle applies as this to Halo. It's 30 seconds of fun, or 30 seconds of depressing engagement, I guess, in our case. But it is about that loop of being in the moment in the game constantly, and that's actually the critical thing that matters.
Okay. There's 3 points I want to address from what this man has just told me. I've already forgotten his name, so I will just refer to him as this man. I'm assuming he's a man, but I think you get the point. Point number 1. According to the devs, Dear Esther is literally like doing something you do while you're asleep. Let that sink in. He explicitly compared the game to being asleep. Point 2. His entire point was pretty much just like, But I can do it too. But I can be artist too. I hope to hell I'm not peeking here, but you know what? Fuck it. Point number 3. You know what? I've decided that having the developer commentary is not so bad, because it means one very specific thing. It means that the voiceovers from the narrator in this game that would normally be playing, which are normally the most pretentious shit ever, more than this, will not play, but will instead be replaced with director's commentary, which now has no context because we haven't experienced the original game. So, in a sense, we are giving a finger to the devs by not experiencing their game as intended. You know what? I'm half tempted, after we're done with this, to just install and play that right now. By that I mean I'm half tempted right now to do that later.
So people have asked why the Dear Esther's set on a Hebridean island. What's really interesting about this is it's one of those times when your kind of aspirations as an artist and the practical realities kind of dovetail. We knew that we had to have some way of limiting the player from disappearing off the play space, and when we made the original, it was a mod, and because it was a Half-Life 2 mod, you kind of had Eastern European city, spaceship, or blasted, desolate landscape. We had 3 options if you didn't want to start making any other assets. So it started off with these practical constraints. If we don't want to set it on a spaceship, we don't want to set it in an Eastern European city, so it's got to be on this kind of like this desolate landscape. And we want to limit the player, so an island seems like a natural choice. And it's really interesting how you start from that, and we had this big lump of clay on a table that we were carving out paths and things to annoy the cleaners and things like that. And Jess and I were talking, and Jess started making sort of snippets of music to kind of go in there. And then all of a sudden we just went, oh, that's the story. Oh, that's what happened here. But it really started, I think, from the place. And when we started looking at photographs of Boré, we started going and reading some of the history behind it. Suddenly that was it. And it just was really, really naturally became, this is the place, this is what happened here, this is how it feels. And then everything else kind of coalesced around that.
Yeah, I think as an artist it made my job a lot easier, because those islands are so kind of like, the environment is kind of hostile. You're out there in the Hebrides. You've got this kind of like inclement weather. You've got cold, rain, snow. It's a very kind of it can be a very depressing place to be at times, but it's also at the same time very beautiful, and it's this kind of like stark, bare landscape, but that has this beautiful surroundings. So it's, in terms of art, I think it really helped me to portray a lot of the themes in Dear Esther.
And there was a natural fit with the music as well.
Yeah.
It suggested a musical style, which was really key, I think.
Alright, so Dear Esther devs, officially racist against Eastern Europeans, would remove, 10 out of 10, would remove kebab.
One of the things you're always trying to do as a composer is create memorable themes. And a slight confession is that probably the most memorable theme, which is Remember in Dear Esther, wasn't actually created for the game. Rob's looking shocked. So it was actually from a piece of choral music that I'd written years before, based on a Christina Rossetti poem called Remember. And one of the things I was talking about earlier was how I didn't have any budget. So I had this piece of choral music, and I thought, hang on, this is absolutely perfect for Esther, but I don't want to use all of it. So the only bit that you actually get in the game is the first line of the choral piece of music. But that actually went on to form the main theme of the music that I wrote. And I think for me it's really interesting about how things that you've written earlier, years before, sometimes come in really, really useful and fit. So I always tell people and students not to despair if something doesn't get used or doesn't work at the time, because actually there'll come a place or in a time where you think, hang on a minute, I've got something that fits. So in terms of that memorable theme, the Remember theme gets used in multitude of different ways during the game. And one of the things it does is helps you to identify the kind of psychic place that you're in the game. So the theme is played in lots of different ways, and actually you'll notice that as you go through the game, it becomes more and more broken and more manipulated and broken down as the player goes through the journey and as you're psychologically struggling to get to the end point in the game. So music's really, really useful for highlighting the psychological mood, and we talk a lot about psychogeography, which always sounds a bit pretentious, but actually I think it's really important to what the three of us did in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dan, maybe you want to talk a bit about that.
Like the core kind of idea about psychogeography, if you're not in, the place you're in is not the place you're in, or you create the place you're in. It's not just as you're here and then the landscape's out there, but you don't navigate like a city by street signs and by this kind of form.
They're
You navigate it
self-aware.
by the things which are significant to you in the way that you've lived in that space.
I don't
And
know
think
if that makes it better or
that's really
worse.
kind of key to. I think it's really central to how the fusion of art and story and music come together in Dear Esther, because it's not a place where we're going, right, we have to lead the player up here because it's a natural formation, and then you would naturally have a piece of music here because you come around a corner. But the story, music and art all work around the idea of what's going on in the narrator's head at this point. How do we represent his emotional state relative to this landscape? And again, it's that idea of the game is, it's a dream of a place. It's like the idea of it being a fever dream or a coma dream, which obviously ties in a lot with the kind of story, and we'll come back to in a lot more detail when we get to the caves a bit later on.
Okay. That was a lot to digest, but I'd like to draw your attention to this here bush. First of all, it's a fucking sprite. This bush is a goddamn sprite. You know the last time I saw a piece of foliage be represented by a fucking sprite? Goddamn Mario 64 in 1996. Second of all, this bush, completely impenetrable, except from this side. This here bush, I tell you for real, completely impenetrable from that side. Are those sprites? Are those sprites in the overworld? I'm not talking about the inventory, I'm talking about the overworld. Oh my god. You cannot go in the bush from that direction, but you can sure as shit go out. The invisible walls here do not follow the rules. Oh god damn it, where's that from? I know I've heard that somewhere. And it's like a kind of a, it's from TF2. I remember now. The in-jokes, the memes from that game. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, the sound art. The sound art has returned. Is this the theme they were talking about? Are they assessing my psychogeography as we speak? Are they gonna be scanning me for goddamn thetans? Is Tom Cruise gonna jump out of the magical fucking sprite bush and dance on my sofa? Who knows? Who fucking knows? It's all
White
just a trip.
lines.
Yeah.
They actually did this. It was really cool. I found this historical document. They used to do this on Bora and the Hebrides. If their disease broke out,
Really?
they'd actually chip out and expose the chalk. So if you're on a boat and you were coming to the island, you know not to land because it was infectious, which is the coolest, most amazing. It's one of those things where you go, it's almost impossible as a writer to come up with something as cool as that. It just has to be something that was actually done. And it's so sad as well. And I love this bit and the fact that we can do it because it feels really real because it references a real thing. And I don't know, there's something really special about that. But it was always one of those bits in the game that I thought, we've got to be able to represent this somehow. We have to be able to get these things in here.
Yeah, I mean, that's really interesting. I actually didn't know that was actually based historically in real life, but that's really cool. Because I mean, my thing about the White Lines is that it was this completely surreal thing, but also it was kind of, it just added to the landscape. It's like, whoa, what the hell is that? And putting that into the game was kind of challenging because to me it just seemed like, oh, it's going to be really hard to pull off. In a way that's kind of realistic, but then when you look at the kind of art style of the game, it's not really a realistic thing. Like everything is half imagined. So in that way, it kind of really fit into the landscape, and it kind of creates this amazing sort of landmark that you see in the environment. And I just found it really interesting to hear about that.
I think it's one of those things where it's not a realistic place. And I mean, no game is a realistic place anyway, but one of those things where understanding that you're making something which isn't real and you have that kind of capacity to be sort of, to explore it artistically. And we'll come back and talk about sort of like it not being realistic, I think, in a little while. But that's really, really important, because then you can say it's about what these things kind of represent or how they make you feel as a player, not about going, is this accurate? And I get really inspired by sort of doing a lot of research into kind of history and things like that with all of our games. Because you can just find those things that just kind of like speak to you. But it's amazing you can find that in like an 18th century book and go, that really speaks to me now, that has meaning now, and that's fascinating, I think.
I'd like to point out that one of the devs did not know this was a historical thing in a game he worked on. He did not realize, oh, that's a thing that happened. He probably just thought, oh, what a stunning, brave direction. Can I throw myself off here? Would it do me any good? Not having neither a jump button nor a sprint button makes me sad. Not being able to walk up inclines makes me sad. For what good? What good is this vast island if you cannot explore? You have already limited my play space by not letting me, roam outside the island. Why must you limit where I can go on the island? Frustration. Frustration.
Something that I wanted to bring through in the art of the game was the same kind of fidelity that you find in both Jessica's music and Dan's writing. In the same kind of way that you have all of these little details, these very close attentions to detail that kind of really bring richness to the story. And something that was missing in the original mod version was just this lack of a visual layer of story. And something that I did throughout the art of the game is to add in all these little details here and there, little bits of story, little links to certain things that you may or may not hear or see, just a layer of richness in the world and give you some kind of reward for exploring. So keep your eye out as you look around.
Well, that's partially because they don't have the narration playing that normally plays during the game. It's just the director's commentary. But, I think it's even more egregious that they think you remember all the shit the narrator says. I don't know, it just makes me sad, because, I could load into a Gmod map. It's quite literally in the same engine. With probably a lot of the same assets. Well, maybe not, but same engine. And get basically the same experience.
There's a scene in Donnie Darko where Drew Barrymore's playing his English teacher, and she talks about Celador as being the most beautiful word in the English language, and about it's the sound of the words together. And Dear Esther actually comes from the introduction from a Faith No More song, the Crab song on the first album, Introduce Yourself. And there's a point where, I think it's Chuck at that point as the vocalist before Mike Patton, just says, Dear Esther. And it really lodged with me because the sound Dear Esther just has a really amazing sound to it. And I think when we started making it, and the idea of it being this series of letters to someone came through, it just came straight back out of going, that's just a really beautiful sounding combination of words. And I think that really sums up the whole approach to the writing in Dear Esther of what's the most beautiful combination of words and images we can put together, and to do it that way rather than writing a traditional plot as such. So yeah, Dear Esther, Faith No More and Doom, that's where it comes from.
Dear Esther. Dear Esther.
One of the things that's been most commented on with the audio and the music in Dear Esther is how sparse it is. And that was a really deliberate tactic. I wanted to leave room for the player to think and to dream and to wonder and to put their own interpretation into what was happening. And I think the problem with so much modern media is how bombarded we are constantly. It's the kind of MTV, flash in your face, constant music. And Dan and I watch a lot of drama together, and that it really is constant
Endless,
music.
which is constantly telling you what you should feel, like really clearly, and it's like being kind of beaten up by the music sometimes.
And when you read a lot of reviews of Dear Esther, a lot of people say they had this time to think and to interpret, and that was one of their favourite things, that they placed themselves so directly into the game, and it's their experience. And I think that's actually the greatest success of the game on all points, from the story to Rob's art to the music, is we all left space for the player to dream.
Now let us tell you how to feel. You know what? You want my interpretation? Alright. So, if you remember, if you remember, Joseph Conrad's novella, Heart of Darkness, which the movie Apocalypse Now, that was based off it. It's about going up the river in Africa. In Apocalypse Now, it's Vietnam, but in Heart of Darkness, it's Central Africa, around the Congo. You go up the river, and slowly, as you go up, the people you meet become more and more brutal, until you get to the rogue ivory trader, Mr. Kurtz. And the black guy up there is like, Mr. Kurtz, he dead. I'm serious. It's basically what the story's about. In Apocalypse Now, it's Colonel Kurtz, but you get the idea. So that's my interpretation of Dear Esther. You're going up the river, going up into the mouth of madness. You're going insane. You go to hell before you die, just like dear old Papa Mario told me. Just like Captain Lou Albano playing Mario told me in the 80s PSA, you go to hell before you die. If you do drugs. It's true. Also, my rum and coke and my popcorn have run out. I'm very sad. Yeah, he told me
I think
that
the
too.
central question to the entire experience, for most people that have played it or are talking about it, is this idea of, is the island real? Is what's going on a literal event of a man walking across a Scottish island, or is it a dream that he's had? Does the island even exist? And one of the things that we try to do with the writing is to constantly lull the player into a position where they got an understanding, they made a decision about what they thought was going on, and then to undercut it. So you never actually were able to settle on any one interpretation. And that was the challenge I set myself when I wrote the original mod, was can we put a story in a game that not only lends itself to multiple interpretations, but there is no stable interpretation. Every single interpretation you have will always have questions, and you'll never be able to fully trust what you think you understand about the game. So it's challenging, I think, for that result. It becomes quite a challenging kind of game story because of that, because you don't ever get that situation to go, I understand it now, I can walk away from this thing and it's all closed off and it's tidy. It was a very deliberate attempt to say, no matter where you think you are with this story, you're always questioning whether or not that's right.
You know, there's a very easy way to make your game, you know, so that people will never know if what happened in the game forms a coherent story. You know what that is? You make your game fucking incomprehensible. That's what you do. What do we have in here? What do we have in this cave? Oh, spooky. Is a spooky gonna jump out at me? Oh, thank you, flashlight. Thank you, flashlight, for coming to my aid, so I couldn't see the fucking incandescent paint. Thank you very much. Oh, mwah, mwah, mwah. Papa bless. Papa fucking bless. Oh my god, there's the chemical symbol yet again. Oh my god, what does it mean? Mason, the numbers, what do they mean? Oh my god, is that a vagina? Oh, so many possibilities. I wonder if these change every time. Also, I apparently couldn't walk over these rocks. Papa bless. Oh, thank you, thank you. Use your battery power responsibly, ladies and gentlemen. Do not waste the batteries on your flashlight. or your fleshlight, or on this here bush. All right, can we go around? Can we go around the speech bubble? We walk out of the cave, and immediately hear the save room music from Resident Evil. No, oh, there it is. There it is again. I thought it ran on me. Mama Esther. Mama Esther. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Beautiful. You're beautiful Italian blade. Oh, mwah. I love you. Oh wait, no, that's the lighthouse we started by. So yeah, we saw that already. That was literally at the start. Mama Esther. Mwah. Mwah. I love you. I love you, babe. Go up the rock. Can you... What's... Oh, you put fucking invisible walls everywhere. But you let me stand on top of here. Oh, I love you, Devs. That's Mama Esther. Mama Esther to you, Mario. Can I get a fanfic that's a crossover of this game and the Super Mario Brothers movie? Yes. Mwah, I want it. I want it. I want it in my living room. I want to take off my belt. I want to... I'm going down the path and I'm still struggling with the fucking invisible walls. Oh, it's an artistic statement about how we are endlessly having to squeeze past the things we don't want in life to find our own path that's already been laid out for us. Beautiful, beautiful meta commentary. Oh, it's beautiful. You know what they should have had? Motherfucking railroad tracks. They should have had the fucking the fucking story take place at a goddamn railroad station. Cause you know what? I'm being fucking railroaded down a goddamn river. This is not what the neighbors upstairs and downstairs probably had in mind for their Friday night. But you know what? Mama Esther bless. Esther bless. Mama bless. And you know what's the best plot? The Stanley Parable made a joke out of having that being the main story you're supposed to follow. Finding your own path, so being set downward.
There's a lot of places in the game where you see a lot of strange things, and this is very deliberate. One of the things we wanted to do is just kind of like not spoon feed the player every little piece of story. We kind of just, some things are literally just in there to just kind of let you think and let you decide on whatever you want to bring to the story yourself. So it's kind of like I approached it like an impressionist painting where you've got like this kind of very vague outline of things, but if you stare at it enough, you can kind of like fill in the spaces, and kind of the image comes together on its own. So a lot of these kind of strange pieces of geography and stuff,
Stanley bless.
That's really kind of deliberate in some ways, just to kind of keep the player's mind open and kind of bring their own interpretations of the story through that.
You know, I have officially come to my interpretation of this story. You know what it is? This has to be a dream. You know why? You know why I've decided this has to be a dream?
Come back.
What? 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 Oh, baby! Woo, baby! Woo! Woo!
Come back.
No! Woo, baby! Woo, baby! Look at this! Fucking come back! You know why I believe this is a dream? That would not fucking happen in real life! This is a fucking dream. This is a fucking dream. You know what I find amazing? Can I just stop for a second and tell you what I find fucking amazing about this game? Alright, so they have invisible fucking walls. Goddamn everywhere. You see this rock? Fucking... See this boulder? fucking impassable. Can't go around it. Can't go over it. Can't go under it. You can't dig through the ground because there's not actually a ground here. But you know what? You can. You know what? You can go through. You know where there's no invisible wall? Right fucking there. Well, I guess if you want to, you know, flex your creative muscles, do some artistic interpretation, could you not argue that this right here is in some way a soft invisible wall? It isn't hard, it doesn't block you, it isn't get in the way, it's fluid, it's a soft invisible wall, it's a soft wall, it's like fucking balsa wood up my goddamn ass. So really, if you get right down to it, even when the game lets you think you're free, you're not free. You're trapped. You're trapped in this purgatory, this hell, this nightmare. You can't go up you can't go up the fucking hill. But you know what you can do? You can throw yourself off a cliff to no avail, just to fucking mock you. Hardest part about this game is literally finding which paths the devs will allow you to take. Oh my... Whoa, I don't have legs. Guys, don't panic. Don't panic. But I think I might not have legs. Now, do not panic. You know what I would have loved? A fucking dev you know what would have been great? A fucking dev commentary right at the, what is it called? The death plane. The functional death plane. That like teases you, like, hey, we got a little tidbit for you right here. Go ahead and throw yourself off. Yeah, they actually did it to man. Oh, goody boy. Goody boy. Just see a bush. Mwah, mwah. Esther bless. Mama bless. Stanley bless. Papa bless. Everybody bless. Bless this goddamn abomination. Exactly. That's what I'm getting at right there. Can you imagine the artistic not integrity, but the artistic vision of someone who would put that in their game? Can you imagine? Oh, it makes me wet. God damn it. Can I go back? Well, let me go back. Are all decisions final? All decisions are final, ladies and gentlemen. You can't go back. You can never go back to where you came. You can try, you can go to the location, but you will never be able to return.
When I was originally thinking about how to write the music for the game, I suddenly realised that you don't see anybody in the game, and the most important character as such is the island itself. So one of the things that I did with the music was
That's
to
not
write
real, is it?
the island as if she or he were a character
It's not
in
real,
its
is
own
it?
right. And that's really important, I think, that you're going through this space and actually it's completely devoid of people.
You don't even
but the
see
music in a way
yourself.
populates the island.
Oh.
And the voice of the island speaks to you through the music.
Which is interesting because I think that's really come on in terms of later games we've done that sowed the seeds for the way in which we approach music in Rapture, where it was very specifically the voice of characters. A Machine for Pigs as well, where the music was about being Lily's voice in the game, Lily's representation in the game. So it's interesting how, looking back on Esther, a lot of those kind of ideas were tried out here that then came on to take other forms in stuff we've done since.
Oh yeah, friendly reminder, this game was made by the people who did Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. They did that game too.
Alright, let's talk about walking. Let's do it. We're gonna address the elephant in the room, the very, very slow-moving elephant in the room. So this might be a longer conversation because it kind of fits with that.
Because he walks so slow.
Esther was the first of the what are now called walking simulators, and it was really interesting that for us it didn't feel that weird to have a game that was slower than normal, where actually there was lots of time to just walk around and think and look at things. And it was amazing at the time how this was seen as completely revolutionary, and it's really interesting, and it's amazing to see how many other games have kind of like taken it on board. For me, it was it came from, I didn't see it as being odd to have a game where very little happened, where you thought about what you were doing. For me, it was kind of interesting that you could play some of the best moments in Doom are the bits where nothing's happening and you're just doing it, or System Shock, or those games that I absolutely love. Those quiet moments were the really powerful ones. But Esther is definitely slower than a lot of games, and I think that's actually why it's lasted. I think if we did have moments where we went, should it be faster, should we put a sprint button in, but I'm so pleased that we kind of held our nerve and went, no, just as like in real life, I don't run everywhere because that would be weird. It's okay to have a game where you don't run everywhere, and actually it is a bit weird to run everywhere, but if you're going to do that, then you've got to support it in other ways, and I think the music was a really powerful way of supporting that change of pace.
What's funny for me though, Dan, is that shamefully I'd never played a game before I worked on Dear Esther, so I didn't realise that all games weren't like this, which is now looking back, I'm really naive. But I didn't realise that games didn't have, always have this slow pace, and I thought there were lots of meditative games out there, and that actually wasn't really the case at the time, and that's exploded since. But in terms of the music, supporting that pace that you'd set emotionally felt really important. So if you listen to the music, actually the BPM is a very slow walk. And it just almost, there's a lot of things now that say it's called entrainment, that it slows your heartbeat, or it can speed up your heartbeat when you listen to music. And actually I think what the Esther music does really successfully is it makes you almost accept, and more than accept, that speed, you actually start to feel that's the pace of your journey, and that I really like that about the music actually.
It makes you just comfortable with that pace too. I think it just eases you into it. You feel relaxed.
The best moments in Doom are when you're doing nothing. Am I hearing this right? Am I? I get the need for space occasionally in art. I get the need for breathing room. I understand where you're coming from. But are you you fucking cocksucker? Are you gonna come down to me on my goddamn computer and tell me and patronize to me that the best fucking moments in Doom are when you're doing fucking nothing? Alright, there are two situations in Doom where you're doing nothing. First, yes, I came right after I was fucking wheezing. But first time in Doom, when you're doing nothing, as has already been pointed out, when you're dead. Now, I'm not gonna judge you if you say yes, but my friend, are you really trying to tell me that dying's fun, and then not gonna actually include a mechanic to fucking kill myself in your game? That's just mean. That's just cruel. That is, oh my god, a goddamn travesty. I am hurt. I am personally hurt. Other time, when you're doing nothing in Doom, it's at the end of a level. When you're watching kills, boom, number of items, boom, time, boom. And let me tell you something. It's nice to see. It's nice when you hear the when it's not in level, I believe it's, what is it? E2, M3? Yeah, there's the main menu, and then there's the main menu, there's the credits, and then there's the fucking attempts at a story that Doom tries to make, where it's the text scroll. Let me tell you something. Right here, and right now, those are not the best moments in Doom. And you know what? I am fucking triggered. I am triggered. Fucking triggered. Hold on. We gotta make this official. I want you to see this happen. Boom. Monitor capture. This is my monitor. Yeah. This is my monitor. Here you see. Dear Esther. Landmark edition. Oh. Art. I'll tell you what. Get the fuck off my computer. Yeah. Yeah! Alright, we're doing something different. We're officially doing something different. Wait, so that's the background. We want monitor capture. There we go. Alright, we're doing something fucking different. I can't stand these fucking people anymore. As Randy Savage once said, I've reached the boiling point, yeah! Sounds more like Hulk Hogan, but you know what? Fuck you. Fuck me. Fuck everybody. Fuck the entire world at this point. I don't fucking care. You know what? We're gonna install the Stanley Parable. We're gonna do that. Now, is it under S? Or is it under T? The Stanley Parable. Here it is. It's under S. Yeah, it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna take 13 minutes, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with it. You know what? I went up the river. I went up the Apocalypse Now River, the Heart of Darkness River. And you know what? I lost. I went fucking mad. I saw Colonel Kurtz telling me that the best part of doom is when you're doing fucking nothing. And I lost it. I lost it. I went mad. If you've ever seen Apocalypse Now, you remember Colby? The first guy they sent in before Willard? I'm Colby right now. My name is fucking Colby. I sent a letter to my wife, telling her to sell everything, to get divorced, to even sell the children. That's what happened to me. Never again. Get the fuck off my computer. There's an HD remix of this shit? Holy crap. Oh, if Bagel played it, Bagel would not like it. I can tell you right now, if Bagel heard that, it would have been the end. It would have been the end. The very end. Or, frankly enough, for the start of Apocalypse Now, this is the end. Boom. It's like poetry. It rhymes. George Lucas told me that. Better director than the people who made Dear Esther. True story. True story. True fucking story. What the fuck did I call this stream again? Because I made a very long title. Okay, that's turned off. Good. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna suffer through that bullshit any longer. Now we're gonna watch probably the best example of a walking simulator. Very soon, I promise. It's very soon. We're getting lots of drop frames, probably because I have the stream open in both Twitch and YouTube while I'm streaming. Because I had to change the, fucking... the title, you know? You feel me? Drop frames are starting to go away. Please go. Oh, because I'm downloading. That's why. Don't worry, it's not much longer. In the meantime, I'm gonna play you some music. Some music that probably won't be copyright claimed. Music from Vietnam. Excuse me? Are you going to tell me that South Vietnamese rock and roll, circa 1968 to 1974, is not sound art? I beg your fucking pardon. He wants some fucking sound art. Right here. Right here is your sound art. I'm not opening that. I swear to God, if it's the person who worked on this game's, you know, if it's a SoundCloud link to the person who worked on Dear Esther, Mama bless, Dear Esther, I swear to God, I'm gonna have to do something I might regret. I'm gonna have to bring out the fireball. And if you want to go to sleep tonight, you won't make me bring out the fireball. Goddamn. I wonder what the VOD is gonna look like with all these drop frames. I wonder how this song is gonna fucking sound on the VOD. Ah. Oh, the mystery. The mystery. Adds another thread to life's rich tapestry. So little is actually going through. Why couldn't this have happened during Dear Esther? Oh, speaking of Vietnam music, is anyone else here excited for Rising Storm 2? You know, I usually make a point. Oh my god. I usually make a point not to pre-purchase games, but you know what? I made an exception. I made an exception because I had some friend of mine's who was like, hey, you know what? We got this in-joke about the Vietnam War going between us, and you know what? Perfect way to reenact it. If I ever stream it, perfect use for this Saigon rock music. Perfect, perfect. Mwah, mwah, Papa bless. I swear to God, I'm not even Italian. How much longer we got? Less than 1 minute, time remaining. Stanley bless. Mwah. Best walking sim I ever played. I've only played 2, but I saw Gone Home. I played it. I wasn't actually controlling it, but I was there when my friend was playing it. Wasn't impressed. Not particular, at least. But we're very close. Less than 30 seconds to go. It's beautiful. Beautiful. I swear, it's close. Got 10 seconds. It dovetails with the music. The end of the music dovetails nicely. Less than 5 seconds. We in there, ladies and gentlemen. What is it doing? Downloaded all of it. Are you writing it to the disk? Is that what you're doing? Did you lie to me, game? Did you lie to me, Steam? Someone lied to me. There it is. It's installed. Let's open this bitch up. Get the capture going. Gonna have a good time. Gonna have a good time, ladies and gentlemen. What is it called? Resolution's wrong. Oh my god. All these options. Give me my 5x4. Do they not have 5x4? They have 1280 by 1024 listed under 4x3. I wish I could call that uncommon. Okay. So we've got that going. Wait, no. Do I need to do it in this too? Hold on. I'm gonna see first if there is a ability to open the console in game. I'm gonna do that first. All right. It should work. It should work. Okay. Fun fact: Stanley Parable does not like being minimized. It is wholeheartedly against the idea. It's going to make this difficult. Okay, something's showing up on my screen. That's nice. I'm assuming this is the window? Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, so if we go like that. No, come on. It's hard to do with an entirely black screen. Suffice to say. Okay. I'm going to assume that's going to work. So, we open this back up. Hey, there it is. Okay. Where's mouse? Sensitivity. That's going to be fine. What is it with mouse acceleration in these games? Edit keys. WSAD. They have a duck button in this game. I almost forgot. They do have a console button. Oh my god. Better than Dear Esther, they have a console button. Okay. Okay, good. Does it not work on the menu? It might not work on the menu. We're gonna see once we get in game. We're not gonna panic. We're gonna stay calm. We're gonna go ahead and do that. Go back in. Okay. Let's begin the game. See where this leads us. The end is never. The end is never. The end is never loading. The end is loading.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
That's very nice.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. I am pressing tilde. Nothing is happening. Here's the button. It's tilde. Okay. Now, is this like other Source games where you have to enable the console through another menu? I make you go through that step. Also, don't do this. Don't list totally by 1024 under 4x3, because it's not. Also, field of view slider. Woo! Okay. I believe we have to set the launch options. So we will do that. Okay. What's the command for this? Oh my god, is it not? It only gives you so much. Well, time to go find the launch options, just like finding the story. Okay. There's a dash before him, right? No, we're doing max FOV. I want to see the game. Okay. So it's dash max underscore FPS space 24. That's what I'm going with. Bumping for visibility. There's nothing to bump. There's nothing to bump. Get out of here, you shit poster. I don't know if this has actually done it. I'm gonna have to trust my instincts here. That the end is never the end, never the end is loading. Okay, yeah, I did it right. Sweet. I don't know if it's actually working, but I'm gonna assume it is.
This is the...
Alright, we saw this. Seems a lot more jittery, I guess? Doesn't seem right. I think it is actually 24
All of his
FPS.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Alright. Filmic equality. Is that the Dear Esther Island? Fuck you. That is a shiny piece of paper. Gotta fucking turn off your machines, though. So much wasted power. Jeez. Irresponsible. I mean, these people are just gonna get fucking raptured away and not turn off their computers? Not properly shut down their workstations? Oh yeah, it's this one. It's this one. Fuck it, I don't care.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
He did. He did.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Well, you know what? They should have thought of that before disappearing. Nice. Wait a minute. There are slides on this. Alright, my brain hurts. Let's get out of here. Let's bounce. Let's go in the broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Are you kidding me? There's plenty here. There's a wrench. There's some wire.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
There's another wrench. There's some pliers. Some duct tape. I think that's another wrench in there. Maybe a screwdriver.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything.
What do you
At
think
least
that
if
is?
there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
You think
As
it's
it
like
is,
a,
He's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
What is that? What's that? I think those are some wire cutters, maybe?
Are you
more
really
tape.
still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why?
Room.
Please offer me some explanation here.
Wait,
I'm
where's the mop?
genuinely confused.
Hold the fuck on. Where's the mop? We have mop thing.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
I wonder if they keep like a separate mop closet where they keep the actual mop.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Don't worry, I'm sure they
Stanley
would.
was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Hey!
Probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yeah, I'm a drug lord. Bite me, bitch.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead.
Yeah.
You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
Totally.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Hijacking engaged. Alrighty. Now then. Whoops, that was the wrong button. Alright. Perfect. Caution. Wet bacon.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board.
Holy shit.
I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who
Oh.
came before you.
You doubt my powers. Son of a bitch.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm amazed that someone can operate with such a low mouse sensitivity. So, we're gonna have to fix that. Why not? Oh yeah. There we go. Perfect. Much more manageable.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a
You son of a
competitive
bitch.
economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy.
You little
And
shit.
then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered
My roommate,
this,
everybody.
he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh my god.
Many doors close automatically behind him wherever he went. And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that it had been
Whoa
on
now.
his tongue. He just couldn't find the words for it. I'm dreaming! He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job.
You know what?
He
I can
wasn't
make it
crazy
better.
after all.
Gonna increase the
He thought to
DPI.
himself, I suppose I'll wake up.
Yeah.
soon. I'll have to go
There we
back to
go.
my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying.
Oh, God.
And began to gently
Woo.
float above the ground.
Yeah, baby.
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field. And it too appeared. It was so much fun. And Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up.
Oh.
How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head.
Yeah,
One he
I
was
feel ya.
amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who
How
found
meta.
it particularly strange.
How very meta.
I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself,
Oh,
believing
no.
that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice
Does it let me
speak
make
was
sound art,
quite
though?
a shock to Stanley.
Does it let me
After
do
all,
that?
He knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that?
Does the voice
This
have
voice
eyes?
was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Yeah, right. Hey, ceiling. It's a good sign.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Here's to not being crazy. But the end is never the end.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
Plant. Right by office number 420. Illuminati confirmed. Oh. Yeah. Turn the fuck off. Go the fuck to sleep.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yes. To get my secret stash of hidden money. Just like in Takeshi's challenge.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here,
I'll take a look at that
drinking
later.
it all in.
Yes, drinking it. Excuse me.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room.
Mm-hmm.
A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
But I'm a coffee
Really
nut.
worth it.
I'm a coffee nut. What's this?
At this
Well.
point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy
Yeah.
and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible
that
this
toast?
is why everyone left.
It's a dossier. Secretly a dossier on Stanley.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
No, it wasn't. We keep going in games until characters start repeating themselves. Common knowledge, pal. Common knowledge. Good. Yeah, this is pretty nice for a break room, not gonna lie. It actually has, like, chairs that aren't just fucking folding chairs. There's a coffee table. I mean, this is a pretty nice break room, not gonna lie. Just get the whole view of it real quick. We're gonna have to go soon. We're gonna have to leave momentarily to the not break room areas of the game. It's beautiful. Take it all in while you still can.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Yep.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I know, right? Penalty for misuse. Penalty for jumping off. Where do I sign up? Do I just hop on? I just hop on.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Really?
Someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please. What? Really?
Yeah.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced
Oh,
that
nice.
something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm
Go
on
in here?
your side. Give me a chance.
Nope, can't go through that door. Yep. Best experience right here. Can I go in here? It's boarded up. You've piqued my curiosity, game. Let me in. Little pigs, let me come in. Or else I'll fuck your house down.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
I applaud this game's artistic vision. It's pulling directly from the Matrix. See, remember the part. You can do that, yeah. I know that is possible. But remember the part where Morpheus offers you the red pill and the blue pill? That's what that's going off of. And he wants you to take the red pill. There is actually an ending for that. There is an ending.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time?
No.
The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
No, we keep going. We keep going. Never stop. Keep going forever. Resolve of 1,000 Japanese folded steels. Maybe go this way. What happens if we go back? I guess we don't have a choice. Off into the void we go. We're loading somewhere. Where are we loading?
What do we want? What are we looking for?
What are we looking for? What's your game, narrator? Hey, look at this.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment. No, wait. Where are you going?
Going back. Is this way back?
Oh, no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll go back.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just
Can I go off here?
Stay here.
What happens if I go off here? Is there an invisible wall? At least these kind of make sense. Nah, I don't think that comes yet. I don't remember when that comes. It's been forever since I played this. And been even longer since I found that part. Or I guess I should put more accurately, since me and a group of friends found that part. Look at this, this is beautiful. What happens if we go back again? What happens if we keep just faking out this guy?
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here.
I believe you've been psyched yet again.
You are going to stay here, aren't you?
No, nothing? Is he gonna make us call our bluff? He's gonna make us call the bluff. Well, take a swig of your liquid courage, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and whatever the rest of you are supposed to be. 'Cause it's time. It's finally time. We have no choice.
You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
Oh no. No, 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 no. No, no, not again. Not again. Not again. Never again. I mean, it's nice. Don't get me wrong. But I just want to push your buttons, narrator. Alright, I think we've reached an impasse. There's nowhere to go.
Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Not even gonna look at the ground. Not even gonna look at the ground when I do it.
No!
Hey.
Oh, thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment.
Haha.
Can we please get back to the other room?
Let's try it. So if you don't say anything though, I'm going back and killing myself.
There. See? This is what you
Eight.
want. This is where we
8. Yes, I remember.
We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Beautiful. Mm-mm. Delicious. Alright, where's the horizon? There's the horizon. Let's try going back.
Stanley, go back. There's nothing good that can come from this.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not saying anything to keep me here. So you know what? I'm going to take my attention elsewhere. Yep. Up we go.
No. No, no. What are you doing, Stanley? Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
You could just say things. Say things. Say things to me. Talk to me. I'm lonely. I'm a lonely person. I live a lonely existence. We're gonna look at the floor this time. Take a swig. Down we go.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room.
Okay.
Can you do that for me?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's try that.
Yes.
See if anything changes.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
I wonder what happens if we do just wait here. I don't remember. Anything to add, Mr. Narrator? Anything to elucidate to us? I swear to God, if you talk about how Doom is at its most entertaining, you're doing nothing, I'm gonna throw myself off the fucking stairway again. The stairway that exists for no reason. No reason at all. It's just there. Like all of us. We're all just here. We're all just here. You know what? You know what I want? You know what I want out of life? Sometime when I'm alive, I want dev commentary for this game. Are they? I wouldn't even notice, honestly. 'Cause this is the way back. Well, nothing's happening.
No, perhaps not.
Up we go. I think this one will do it. I believe.
My God, is this really how much you dislike my game?
Not
throw
really.
yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You
No.
are literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
You're misinterpreting
Reading the
things.
situation correctly.
You're misinterpreting things. Shut up. We're gonna try and land on one of those, okay? It's gonna be a cool trick. Get your camcorder out. You might be watching a person die. What?
Maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
I just wanted us to get along.
Do
Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
I'm just teasing you, man.
I wanted us to be happy here, Stanley. I really did.
This-
I wish I still thought that was possible.
Well, you're broken. So you know what? Time to end it. It would be cruel to keep going. And I'm not a cruel man. No, sir. I'm not. Believe it or not. I just don't appreciate people bad talking doom. Because, I mean, the game has flaws. I won't pretend it's like some... Well, it's held up very well, but I won't pretend it's the perfect game ever. Mama bless, Papa bless, Stanley bless. I won't pretend it's something it's not.
Is it over?
It's never over.
Start, isn't it?
The end is never the end, my
Going
friend.
back.
I just have sensibilities, is all. Know what I mean, narrator? Do you
All
understand?
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
He forgot.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
It's okay.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That's
No
okay.
matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find
Whoop.
a trace of his co-workers.
I kind of like this setup. Makes me feel like every time I do something, I'm in a Call of Duty sniper montage. Woo! 837 degree hard scope. Woo, baby. Papa bless. Papa bless. Okay. No, there we go.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors,
We went to the
he
door on
entered
the
the
left.
door on his left.
Yep.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead.
Oh, I know what it is. It's a classic. 0451.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Oh, yeah.
2845.
See, it says 8.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Did it? I don't see no door. Oh, there's the door. Well, you know what? See? I'm not dumb. You're dumb. Anything for us over here? Oh god. That might be a mistake. Oh no. No. Okay, good. We almost made a big mistake there.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Don't you bring that up. Don't you bring that up.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
He means it. Maybe.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
"8 days. Is this like the ring?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Welcome to work.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That
Yeah, I
his
know.
emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable.
It was.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and
Wait, where's
for
the 8
all.
button? Where's the 8 button? Gotta find the 8 button. There's 10. There's another 10. Where's the 8? Where's 8? Where is 8? Where is the 8 button? I swear to God, where is... Mein Gott! Where is 8? 8, I swear to God! There's 1. There's a 2. Alright. 1, 2, 3. Where is 8? Where is 8? There's 3. Is 8 going to not show up? What is up here? There's 4. Well, I don't care about these things. I do not care. Oh, how very funny. We're all laughing at your comedic prowess over here. Truly, truly the voice of a generation. Well and truly. Is it down there? Is that where the 8 button is? What are these lights? What do they do? Wait, 2 3s? That doesn't work out. That's 6. I think you're pulling my leg there, pal. I'm not gonna lie. I do believe you're pulling my leg.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Oh?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you want?
I just want my job back. I just want my job back.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
I want my job
if
back.
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Hey!
In the event that this machine is
A
activated
bomb!
without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
A bomb!
How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes.
Alright.
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine.
No, it's not.
You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires.
Just gonna sit here.
This is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Hey. See, here's a game that'll let you die. But aren't the best parts of video games when you're sitting there doing nothing? Motherfucker. My goodness. Delicious. Fucking licious. You know what? We're gonna call it there for tonight. We just fucking proved Dear Esther's master fucking thesis. The game is most entertaining when you do fucking nothing. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and whatever the rest of you are supposed to be,